first thing you can do to get started is to go into your marketing profile. So your marketing profile is under your name up here. So you click that and go to settings. All right. Let's see here. So then your marketing profile is under connect settings and then marketing profile. So this is somewhere that you can fill out all of your marketing information all in one place. So it's going to pull into really anywhere that you do marketing in Command, including your website. So this is really important to fill out. So you can just go down. You'll want to upload your headshot here. If you don't have a headshot, that's fine. Some people just put like a blank image or the KW logo, totally up to you if you don't have a headshot to put here, but you do need to upload a photo in order for it to save. So then you just keep going through, you fill out your name, your job title, which would be realtor, of course. If you have any designations or credentials, you can fill them in. You put your biography here. Your contact information, your website link, which I'll show you how to create today when you're setting up your website. Then all of your market center information. So that's everything about the office. So our name, address, phone number, all of that stuff. And then down here are your social profiles. So if you want to have a link on your website to your Facebook page or your Instagram page, or if you have a YouTube channel, you can link these here and they're going to create specific links to them when you create your website. That's pretty much it for the marketing profile. There is some legal footer text you can add as well if you want to. I don't believe it's required here, but it is good to add these little disclaimers that we put on most of our marketing materials. So then you just click save at the end just to make sure that it's saved. And the other thing you need to do is right here, if you click use my information to brand my agent site, you're going to want to make sure this is green. If I have this turned off, basically none of this is going to pull onto my website. So most of the stuff on the site isn't going to work because it does pull from here. So just make sure you've clicked that, click acknowledge, and then that will turn green. Okay. I'm just going to head to the home page. So to get to your website setup, you're going to go to the consumer section, which is the very last section here at the bottom. You can click this KW at the top just to open these up so you can see what each one means until you get more familiar with them. But we're going to start in consumer. Yours will probably look a little bit different if you haven't set this up yet. I've already set up my website, so I've created these 3 pages. These are the basic pages that we're going to go through creating today. So you probably won't see these here. But either way, doesn't matter. We're going to create them. So all you have to do is go to site and app settings up here. And then we're going to click learn more with Kelly Guides. Then you choose agent site here because we are creating our website and continue. All right, and get started. So here is where we're going to start the setup of our website. So on the left-hand side here is a preview of the changes we're going to make, what your website's going to look like. It's not always the most accurate, but we can always check our live site afterwards just to see how those changes look. On the right-hand side here, we are going to be editing all of the details about our site. So it starts with subdomain. So this is basically the URL for your website, what people are going to type in to get to your website, what the link is going to look like when you want to copy that onto your business cards or your Facebook page. So you get to choose what that is. Now it's going to end in .kw.com. So you may want it to just be your name, or if you have a team, you would put the team name here, whatever you want your website to be called, and then just click claim domain. Make sure that it was available. No one else has taken this before, and it claims it for you so no one else can take it. So this is now the link to your website. So you can see up here now, this is the link here. It's just jessicadort.kw.com. Then if you keep going down here, next is marketing profile information. So we just went through the marketing profile in settings. This is the exact same information. This pulled into my agent site. So that's why I said it was important to make sure that you've turned that on in your settings so that this information pulls in. Otherwise, you need to come in and fill all this out again. So just make sure that you have that turned on, and this will all pull in here. So You don't need to change anything unless you want to. You can change stuff if you need it to, but this will look exactly the same as your marketing profile. So you can see down here, it's created this little contact form with some of my information. Right. You can change that image, the profile picture. Again, this has pulled from my marketing profile as well as the Market Center logo. Again, you can change them if you need to, but as long as your marketing profile is accurate, then this will be accurate as well. Okay. We're going to save and continue that. So next we're into the style and theme. So this is where you're going to kind of customize what the site is going to look like. And really this is just going to be the colors of the website. So you can see we have the option between the red or dark theme. So basically with the dark theme, any of the buttons, the logo, all of that stuff is going to be that charcoal gray color. If you choose red, it's going to be red. The preview doesn't populate the red here, but that should change to red as well. Next is your homepage text. So that's this start your search. You can change that to whatever you want to. I just leave it as the default. And then your images. So these are the images that are going to display on your website. On the live site, they're actually going to be a slideshow. So it's not going to stay on that one image. It's going to slide through all of these different images that you have added. Now you can keep this as is. These are stock images that were provided by Command for you. But if you want to change them, you absolutely can. So if you wanted to delete any of these images, you just click the trash can like that, and it's gone. So then you would just upload your own photos. You can do this by going to a stock image website if you want. If you can find some royalty-free stock images, you can't just take anything from Google Images, unfortunately, because sometimes people own them or you have to pay for them. So it's good to search specifically for royalty-free images that you can use for commercial purposes. Another alternative that a lot of people have done is go out in the area that you work in most. So if you are in Halifax or Kentville or Truro, wherever that is, go out and take some photos of some scenic areas around you. Then you can put those as your images. They're unique to you. No one else will have them on their site. And it's more relevant to your ideal clients because it's close to where most likely that they live or want to live. So it's going to be a little more relevant to them. You can see here the recommended size for these images is 1200 by 1200. Now this is going to be a giant square at those dimensions. So it's going to be huge here. So I actually recommend 1200 by 600. So that's going to make it a little bit narrow. So it's not as long here. So you don't want it to take up as much space. When you upload an image, you do get the option to crop it. So you can change that so it's a little more narrow and doesn't take up your whole page with that image. That's totally up to you. That's just what I recommend. So we're going to click Save and Continue. And now we're into the content. So I'm just going to open up the navigation here so we can see what we're working with. So the first page here is company profile, and then we're going to move through the rest of them. So starting here, this is intended to be a profile about Keller Williams, but no one really cares about Keller Williams. They want to know about you. If it's someone who has a team, it may be something where you write information about your team members. If you're an individual agent, this would be more like the selling process and the buying process. And you can write a little bit about those things, kind of turn it into a buyer guide or a seller guide. Totally up to you what you do with this. If you don't want this page on here, I can show you how to remove it after, but you can customize this. It does not have to be a company profile. So you could change this completely. So into the search engine optimization, this is where you change the title of the page. So this is the actual title. So maybe it would be working with Jess or something like that. Then your slug. So this is basically the tail end of your URL of the website. So you can see up here now, originally it just said jessicadort.kw.com. Now that we're editing this page, it's actually added this about us. So that is the specific URL for this page on your website. So you can change that if you want. If I wanted it to say working with Jess. Just keep in mind you cannot put spaces here, so it's good to put dashes if you want, if it's more of a sentence that you're putting in. You can't put spaces in the link. And then SEO description. So what is on this page? This is where you're going to write a little bit of information about this particular page. This will help for search engine optimization, of course. So the more keywords that you have in your website, the more likely you are to come up on Google. It's very difficult to do, but this is something you can do to help that. So if you've ever done a Google search before, it gives you a title of that page and then a little description under it. That is what you would be setting up here. So the page title is what's going to show up on Google. And then the SEO description shows up below the title. And then your content. So this is where you edit what's actually on this page. Again, it's fully customizable, so you don't have to keep it like this. You can write an intro paragraph. You can fill in these content fields and then also upload your own images. So again, if this was someone who has a team maybe making a website, they could put a profile for each of their agents. If you're individual, you could do the selling process and the buying process again, and just put pictures of the area you work in, something that's relevant to those clients. Footer, headline, and title, footer title here is not really relevant. You can take that out unless there's something you want to put down here. But you can leave it blank and it will just remove that text. So I'm going to continue. So now we're on this About Me page. So this, again, has actually pulled from my marketing profile. So you can see here it's filled in my biography, my contact information, my headshot is on here. So I don't really have to do anything in the content unless there's something you want to change. If you wanted to add something in here, you can, but if your marketing profile is set up, this will all be accurate for you. And again, the search engine optimization is the same thing. So you're just putting in the page title and what you want the URL to be for this particular page. And the last section here is the contact us. So this has created a contact form on the page, or sorry, on the website. So this is somewhere where clients can contact you. Potential clients, sorry. So this is just a form. They can fill out their name, contact information, and write you a message. So you'll get this as a notification in command that you've received a lead on your contact form. The only really thing you can customize on here is an intro paragraph. So you can write something before they contact you if there was something you wanted to tell them ahead of time. And you can also customize this message hint. So this kind of gives a framework for what you're looking for when they message you. So you don't have to go back and forth 5 or 6 times trying to get the information and get them to answer these questions. You're kind of telling them ahead of time what you need to know. So they're more likely to fill that out and tell you exactly what they need. Click save and continue, and that is it. So all you need to do now is if you click on manage sites, it's going to bring you right back into the consumer section. Oh, that's okay, Iris. I'm finishing the recording, so I'll be posting it on YouTube. Alrighty, so now we're back in our agent site pages section here. So if this was blank for you before, you'll now see 3 pages as we just set them up. So I've set up these 3 pages. I already had them created beforehand. So now if you ever need to edit anything, you don't have to go through that whole process again. So let's say you've set up your website and now you want to add some photos that you've taken. You don't have to go through that whole guide again. So I'm just going to quickly show you how you can make some edits to your website without having to go through the whole Kelly guide. So I just went to site and app settings again. And instead of learn more with Kelly guides, we're going to go through these sections here. So I'm actually going to start at the back end here on agent site pages. And these are the 3 pages we just set up. So this is where you can basically change them around if you want the order to be different. I'm actually going to bring up my website here so you can see what that looks like. So the pages that I created, they actually show up under a drop-down menu, which is right here. So I have the Working with Jess, About Me, and Contact Us. So that is where all of those links will be. So here is where you can change the order of them. You can also edit that page title, the URL and the SEO description. So you don't have to do all of this right from the get-go. You can always go back and fill these things in as time goes on. So this is where you can change those around. You can add additional pages from here. So you're not stuck with just those 3 pages that we created. You can also create endless number of other pages. So we're not going to go through that too much today just because this was specifically just set up, but we'll likely do a customization training in the future. So you can add additional things like testimonial captures and things like that. So that's how you would do it there. If we go to theme here, you can change the theme again. So maybe you chose red, but now you really want dark. You can change that here. Just make sure to save it at the bottom. It does take about 15 minutes for that to populate, so you're not going to see that change right away. It will take some time. Featured listings. So if you do have any listings of your own, you can feature them on your website. So I just put one here as an example from one of our agents. So that will feature actually on the homepage of your site. So if I'm here on my homepage and I scroll down, it's actually created this featured listings section. So that is something you can do. You just add the listings by clicking select listings. You have to change this to all listings because we use the MLS feed. So all of the listings are under our feed instead of your actual name. So you just click all listings, and then you can search the address or MLS number and find your listing. Just click select, and it's going to add it to your featured listings here. URLs. So this is again where you can change your subdomain. You can change this as much as you want to. Just know that if I was to change this right now to something else, Jessica Dort is gone. So someone else could take it tomorrow. So just make sure that you're choosing the one that you want to use long-term, because if you give it up, you may not be able to give it back. It's unlikely depending on what it is, but just keep that in mind if you are changing your domain here. All right, we are frozen. Just gonna refresh this here. All right, we're gonna try that again. Okay, so now we're in the general, which is the first section. I kind of went backwards, but here's where you can change that hero text. So that's start your search. That's at the very top of my site here. You can change that from here. You can change the images. So again, if you do go out and take your own photos, you're not stuck with these ones. You can change them. So you don't have to go through that whole guide again. You can just upload them right here. And then you can also have a page specifically to prompt people to download your app. So this is where you change the text at the top. So you can put download my app like that.